today. We've got Bill Ritchie, and he's going to be sharing with us about the value of coaching, the value of having a coach in your life. So welcome, Bill Ritchie.
Yo, am I on there okay? Okay. You know, one of the questions that I suppose a person has is, what in the world does coaching have to do with health? One word, everything. One word, everything. You know, the first thing that you want to know is that, watch out. You don't want to look at that very long. That was me, 56 pounds and 14 weeks. It took me 6 years ago, and I'm pleased to say that I was exactly at my goal weight this morning. So that's what you call sustainable change. But at any rate, the first thing that I think is really important is that we have been built for relationship. That is the first thing. We have been built for relationship. There's nothing more basic than that. However you want to go back in history, now I happen to have been a pastor, so I have a particular understanding of that, but however you want to go back in history, what you find is we have been built to relate with other people. In fact, it's fair to say that we crave relationship. That's why you don't want to be left out when you're a little kid in school, or you're the last one picked, or some other such thing. Just like these little kids here, you want to be a part of a gang of kids, other people. Speaking of gangs, that's why some younger people end up in gangs. They aren't drawn there so they can take drugs or sell them or shoot people or who knows what. They're drawn because it is a place where they are accepted, because that's deep craving within that we all want relationship. And that's why the second thing is important here, and that is coaching is all about relationship. You know, if you look at this slide, no doubt most of you will recognize Michael Phelps, the most medal swimmer in all of Olympic history, an unbelievable, almost freak of nature. And that coach who is beside him is a guy who has been coaching him since he was a kid. And in this case, that coach is really, in a sense, two things for Phelps. He's a coach and he's a mentor. Now, those are two very different things. There are really three things that you might think about: coaches, mentors, and counselors. If you think about counselors, they are people who are highly skilled, highly trained, and they are able to help us process things in life that we just aren't able to get at on our own. I mean, most everybody could use somebody to process with them at some point. In fact, I stopped calling counselors counselors. I started calling them processors. Love it. Love what they do. The other type of a person is a mentor. Now, a mentor, usually mentors, it's not super formal, goes over a long, long period of time. It addresses very specific needs with insights of somebody who has been way down the road. I had a mentor who I was with and met regularly with for 12 years. And we never set up anything formal. Nobody ever used the word mentor, but that's in fact what it was. And it was one of the greatest blessings in my life. A coach, on the other hand, is usually for a set duration, like a basketball coach is going to coach during the basketball season or whatever the case happens to be. It's usually a set duration. It's a bit more short term. Coaches are really good at help people bringing what is within them to play, just like Phelps's coach did. He was, or Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's coach said about him when he got him, he realized this kid has unbelievable raw material, and all I really am here to do is help shape that. And so with a coach, but in the midst of that is relationship. So that coaching is all about relationship. Now, here's what's important. The third thing is that coaching is the key to sustainable change in health. Coaching is the absolute key to that. Next one, Craig. that there you go. It's the key to health, because here you have it. It's all about relationship. You're never going to create change that lasts, sustainable change, by knowing stuff. I mean, figure it out. I did my first diet when I was 11. And since that time, I've done more than I could begin to count. And I read all the books. I read all Barry Sears' books on the zone, and I read Atkins' books on the Atkins program. I knew the stuff. Big deal, right? Knowledge isn't going to do it for you. Intimidation, and we've all been there. Guilt, shame, all that kind of stuff. That is never going to move you forward and keep moving you forward. And neither is pressure from the outside. You better get that weight off or else, that kind of stuff. It's just not going to work. Inside, we got to have the want to, intrinsically motivated. See, here's the deal. People who try to get healthy on their own, especially in a weight loss phase of getting healthy, people who try to do it on their own fail. In over 85% of the cases, actually it's higher than that, people who do a diet regain all their weight, become unsuccessful after a little over a year. And, they start with great hopes and so forth, and then it just falls apart. There are reasons for that. For one thing, diet is spelled die, D-I-E, with a T, and who wants to do that? For another thing, for most of us, dieting means restricting, means starvation, means stay away from that. And when you're doing it alone, trying to get healthy alone, you're white knuckling it. It's all on your own willpower. We all run out of that stuff way, way, way too fast. We've only got a limited amount. And more than that, we don't know what the heck we're doing. When I did all these different diets, if you would have said to me, Bill, what'd you lose? I would have said, well, weight. And they'd say, yeah, I know, but what did you lose? And I'd say, well, 20 pounds. And then they would say, 20 pounds of what? And I'd say, I don't have a clue. Because of course I didn't. And when you're trying to do that alone, it's kind of, oh, well, nobody knows anyway, and what the heck. And so you just kind of quit. The fact is, this week in the newspaper, an article came out that said that even though Americans are heavier than they have ever been, less of them are inclined to get healthier. Think about that. Heavier and less inclined to get healthier. Well, what that means is the healthcare crisis is going to just go astronomically, because you've got metabolic syndrome with diabetes and all the stuff that goes with that. Are you beginning to see the importance of relationship here? See, coaching is the key to sustainable change. Why is that? Because coaching is all about relationship. All about relationship. It opens the door of hope for us. We say on our own, I've tried to do this. I think I can. No, I can't. No, I can't. And a coach comes along and says, Bill, I know you've tried this a bunch of times, and I feel so bad that you've had this experience. But I tell you what, we can do this. Not you can do this. We can do this. Let me take your hand here. We're going to do this. And suddenly I'm thinking to myself, well, hey, wait a minute. Maybe there is hope. And that's what happens. That relationship opens a door of hope, and it gives a glimmer of help going forward. And there's an offer of somebody to journey with me. I'm not doing this alone. Who in the world likes to take a hike just totally alone? When you're with somebody else, it's so much more fun. I mean, when you see that spectacular view and go, whoa, and nobody is there to share it, it's not nearly as much fun. Because we love to journey together. Why is that? Because we're built for relationship. And so when we have a coach helping us in our health journey, it brings us somebody to journey with us who can point us to resources along the way, because we all have these little snags, these little challenges, saying, well, now, wait a minute, I've got a birthday party coming up. Well, how do I do this? Well, how do I do that? And a coach can help, Google, get us to the resources that'll help us sort of move forward. So the fifth thing I would say is You can try to get healthy on your own, but my question is, why would you do that? You will be vastly more successful with a coach along the way. And by the way, people who coach, and I would have to say this for myself, I haven't been a health coach for 6 years, but people who coach have a 5 times greater chance of keeping their weight off. Why is that? Because they're in a community of health, ongoing. They've locked into those relationships. A whole lot of people are moving forward together, encouraging each other, cheering each other on, and they're helping other people along the way, which does nothing but build them up. I mean, it's a win, win, win. Everybody wins. So, what does coaching have to do with getting healthy? One word: everything. Absolutely everything. I want to introduce you to somebody who is a new friend. Nikki Zimmerman is her name, and she is an incredible person. I see her walking around. It looks like she's getting healthy right there. You'll see the before picture of Nikki. Nikki's not a person who has 150 pounds to lose, but she had a stubborn amount of weight that she just wanted to take off. And Nikki, tell me a little bit about that picture on the left, the sort of Nikki that said, okay, that's it.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
All righty. Well, I definitely didn't feel very good about myself. And again, I have 30 pounds to get down to my ideal weight. And it is, like Bill said, 30 stubborn pounds. I can probably count in my bathroom right now, let's see, wraps and teas and anything you can imagine to help me lose it. But in fact, it just helped me gain a few more. So it did not help. You often wouldn't see me without a sweatshirt on. I just didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. Even though I wasn't really told that by anybody. My husband, for 20 years now married, is very supportive and loves me just the way I am, but it comes down to me loving myself and the way I look. Wow. And how I feel. So wow. I have 2 adult children, 21 here next week and 20 coming up in July. I work for a trucking company for 16 years, and if anybody knows anything about trucking companies, they have donuts and candy everywhere, and they celebrate every month for our birthdays with a cake from Costco.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I was always the first one in there to get my piece, and maybe even a second.
Well, you know, Nikki, the thing that's so exciting is Nikki is new to getting this whole issue dealt with to move forward to create sustainable change. And she's down 13 pounds in 4 weeks. And that is exciting. Betty and I rejoice over that. Nikki, what are you learning about the value of coaching as we're moving through this?
Oh, I am learning so much. I am learning that it's okay to the feelings help. It's okay to eat as much as I am every day. It's just what I'm eating. And I'm being held, I wouldn't say accountable, because Betty is very understanding and she listens and coaches, and you, Bill, coach me very well. And trying to see, sorry, I'm a little nervous.
You are
just the encouragement I get from both of you. Like I said, I honestly, no, Bill, you know, I've contacted you months and months ago, but then I kind of was scared, and I was contemplating on just ordering it online with no coach accessibility for myself. But I am so glad that I didn't, because I know, once again, it would have been something that I know I would have failed at. That's why I contacted you guys.
Well, and we would have missed out on this relationship, and that would have been the worst part of all. Hey, can you give us one tip about coaching that people might find helpful?
Oh, one tip. How can I pick one? I guess it's even hard. The encouragement that they give you
Okay.
is great,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of people need to hear.
Yes.
And
No, that is
just
great. You are absolutely right. And that's kind of the heart of everything. We encourage each other in life. I mean,
exactly.
when we talk to you, Nikki, we are encouraged ourselves because when you are excited, we are excited. And, you know, your wins are our wins. We get to celebrate together. And how cool is that?
Exactly.
Remember, we're built for relationship. And so everybody wins. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Wow, great